Kerenai stands sorrowfully over the charred stump of the tree that once gave her strength. Oh, but see, there's some leaves remaining. And I guess that Kerenai already knew that Ulbrig is not just Ulbrig, right? It looks as though she does not have long left to live. She's become almost transparent. This is it. Every river finds its sea eventually, and every story finds its end. I'm glad I lasted long enough to see you, Ulbrig. Ava. No, don't give up on yourself so easily. As long as you're alive, there's hope. Between you and me, the war chief, surely we can find a way. You're right. I do have time. It's a mere moment for me, but long enough for you. Let us not pass that time in mournful silence, my friend. So, you're a deity, Ulbrig. Looks like I am. A god, a man, a bit of everything. Ulbrig extends his Griffin talons and studies his hand intently. That's why Ava never answered me. I prayed, I looked for him everywhere. He was inside me the whole time. True, that makes so much sense. One of the last gods of Sarkorian, the one who will be left after I'm gone. Have you never once sensed it? It doesn't even smell human. The wolf snuffs noisily. Well, I rarely snuff at people. Ulbrig, what really happened between you and Ava? Well, you've got a mortally wounded man and a god who's lost all his followers in one fell swoop. They're both not long for his world, right? Right, but only if they each other fend for themselves. Two wounded birds, merging into one. Though, now that's a whole different story. The deity gets a living body not to depend on anyone's prayers. The man gets divine strength to keep him from succumbing to his wounds. Just don't ask if I'm Ulbrig the man or Ava the Griffin. We are so fused together, there's no separating us. Both were so grievously wounded that a god-human had to hibernate for a good 100 years to replenish their strength. You slept through the demon invasion and the fall of Sarkorian. You didn't stir when we were mistaken for Setu, taken to Kenabres and placed in a library, where you later awoke. Why did Ava's brother betray him? Probably just desperation, right? Deskari had dug his talents into his soul. Wait, no, insect doesn't have talents. What they do have mandibles? Ulbrig clenches his fists. Anyway, the cricket god has enticed him with the sweet promises that the fool had happily believed. So Ava's brother decided he wanted to live forever and alone like one of those oglins, without depending on mortals and their prayers. Deskari needed a congregation to set up his invasion. He sought weak souls and inquisitive minds. I don't know whether Ava's divine brother fell first, or if it was the mortals who prayed to him. Either way, they ended up becoming demon worshippers, and he turned into something akin to a demon. They slaughtered their mortal brothers and sisters who'd resisted the temptation, and he too turned his talents against his brother. A deity and their congregation are connected. They live and die together. And become treasonous scum together, it would seem. Tell me your story, Kerenai. I was the divine guardian of these lands many years ago, long before the town named Gundrun was built here. With the fall of Sarkorian, my time has passed too. A shaman, loyal to me and to our lost homeland, tried to keep faith alive among the people, and he did not succeed. Those who remembered me had perished, and people who were strangers to me were pouring into Gundrun, and as the faith waned, I too grew weak. Back then, an old shaman brought a special relic to my temple right before he died. He said it was all he could do for me before he passed, and indeed, it was a relic that helped me survive. The wolf's eyes glitter. I did not lie to you when I said there was nothing there but what you could see, for the shard was hidden in plain sight. So, I still guess it will be the, well, probably it's just the tree, right? What is the relic kept in the temple? It's a shard of a rodent's shield. Many worshipped him as a great god incarnate, but I, being a Sarkorian, don't feel the same trepidation. Wherever now, too, see and acknowledge his deeds. A small shard of his shield, with no powers of its own, was enough to save my life. A rodent,
That old boy who roamed around Sarkorian pestering Deskarites. We used to laugh at him. What do you know? He was right all along. Shame we didn't listen to him back then. We could have finished off those grasshopper-worshipping traitors.
Of course I see things more clearly now than I did 100 years ago. Hindsight, always there when you need it least.
The wolf chuckled sadly.
As I said, the shard of Aroden's shield didn't retain any magic of its own, but could still be used to focus what was left of my own powers. I used it to draw life force from the very depths of Golarion, untouched by demonic corruption, and craft myself a mortal body. This little tree here. The shield shard is nestled among its roots. Take it. I'm too weak to draw upon its power. I have no use for it anymore. Thank you for your answers.
Oh.
Yeah, as I said, there are very few happy endings in this game.
Oh, great. Harrison.
But wait, it gets worse.
1,000 apologies for interrupting your domestic dispute, but there are matters to be resolved. I don't like agreeing with the smooth talker here, but on this, he's right. This town's on edge. People are restless. Everyone's worried for Gundrun's future. Izena stares at the wolf and merely nods her agreement to Sigborn, unable to take her eyes off the deity.
What are the matters that need resolving? Kerenai, can't you see she's dying? She can be saved yet, I'm certain of that. I just don't know how.
The town is overrun by Ustalavic troublemakers. This isn't right. The townspeople are frantic with worry. They're even throwing around words like occupation.
With all due respect, I don't give a damn about the stinking little town and its dying fleabag of a goddess. I'm here for the relic. I'm not going to lie, if it weren't for you, Commander, I'd have easily taken it by force. But you are formidable opponents, so I merely humbly ask to give that thing to me. My gratitude would be boundless. Well, well, well. How unsurprising. What's going on in the town?
The demons gave us a hard time. Just as we thought we weren't going to last against them, not even with help from the Ustalavic bandits, the enemy suddenly seemed to receive some kind of signal. One after another, they fled and were gone. Now the town is licking its wounds and wondering what's in store for its next. Whatever it is, it's clear to everyone and their dog that things are going to change.
At least we disbanded the demons. But yeah, now we have the Ustalavs back there. Let's address the issues in order.
So what are you going to do with Aroden's relic? It may look like a useless thingamabob, but I still don't think it would be right to give it to the slick Ustalav. That one has up to no good written all over his nasty face.
It definitely seems like the evil choice. I don't care what you do with the relic. This object has saved my life once, but that isn't going to work a second time. I'm too weak to repeat it. This object is alien to Sarkorian and to my temple, so you mortals can decide whom it will serve better. Okay, with three options, we can say the relic stays in this temple, we can say rise and pay me and you can have it back, and we can take the relic. Yeah, definitely not going to give it to Horizon. I mean, if we can keep it in the temple, I'm wondering if there's like any other thing we can do to save her. But like, if even Kerenai says it doesn't help anything... decisions. And as usual, you can't save in dialogue. I'm just wondering if you let it stay in the temple, if it does anything, because you can see some leaves. So I would go with that, just hoping for the best. The relic stays in this temple. You're just leaving a gold nugget in a dung pile on the floor of a cowshed. A brilliant decision, Commander. You're making a mistake. No, please take the relic from my temple. Do what you want with it. Toss it into a swamp, but don't leave it here. Its value will continue to draw opportunists here with the darkness in their souls.
Ryzen scolds at the last words, but only permits himself a spiteful glance in the wolf's direction. Item received, Shard of the Shield of Erodin. So I guess...
Are you done with the petty nonsense? Good. Now, how do we help Kerenai?
I have a funny little idea. It won't be easy, but it is a chance to save her.
Wait.
Zena grows pale as she shifts her gaze back and forth between Ulbrig and Kerenai.
Ah, one of the DLC songs. I like that one. I know a way to save you, my lady. Please let me do it.
No, more decisions.
Zena, what do you suggest? My goddess, if you can be saved by inhabiting the body of a mortal the way Erva did with Ulbrig, take mine. My child, this is too great a sacrifice. How could I take your life?
On the other hand, with Ulbrig, it doesn't really sound like taking life, but like creating something new, right?
I know I served you poorly. I didn't know how to pray properly. I performed rites in all the wrong ways, and I even corrupted your name. But my loyalty to you and to Sarkorian was genuine. If my life can help preserve yours, then take it. I beseech you. What would you suggest, Ulbrig?
The affairs of gods and mortals are a strange thing. They're dependent on each other, and neither side understands fully what that dependence is. But I now have a special vantage point from which to look at these things, what with me being both Erva and Ulbrig, a god and a servant. And here's what I realize.
Yeah, it feels more like Dragon Ball Fusion than death.
True. The goddess once known as Kerenai cannot be saved. You said it yourself. Your traditions have been lost to time, and congregation has died out. Don't interrupt me.
Ulbrig flashes an angry glance at Isena, who was about to object.
So as I was saying, without faith, Kerenai is doomed. But the townsfolk do have faith. They swear oaths in Serena's name. She's not you, but perhaps you can become her.
You're proposing that I die and be reborn as the fantasy the townsfolk swear by. That I answer to the odious name Sirena. That I answer garbled prayers, accept silly offerings, and consecrate their ridiculous festivities with my presence. That is simply insulting.
Perhaps it is, but the townsfolk will have a goddess, and the goddess will have a congregation. This tiny shard of Sarkorian will survive. They say humility is a virtue. Perhaps that applies to gods as well as mortals. Accept the humiliation, and you will give Gundrun a future.
What I like about that is like that it seems like a more progressive, more developing approach. But I see points in both things. None really seems like worse than the other, at least to me. What do you think, Kerenai? What can I say? Thank you for your willingness to help me. No living creature wishes to die. I so want to live, but I fear that I cannot be saved. I used to be a source of miracles for this land, but now that my powers are waning, will someone work a miracle for me? I do not know, but I do not want any sadness. Even if my life is at its end, I'm glad that I'm going to spend my last minutes surrounded by friends and worthy mortals, rather than alone. That's not helpful. I think ever so slightly I would prefer like having created like a new deity, like a new nature spirit. Because I think at least like how they work with the prayers, it seems like a good approach, and also giving the people of the village something to believe in. The Isena's sacrifice also sounds kind of nice. We're going to go with the second. Kerenai, listen to what Ulbrig is saying. I think it's your best option. You get a achievement for that. Well, the deities of Sarkorian are flesh of the flesh of their land. Years come and go. Generations come and go. All Kerenai is beyond saving, but perhaps little Serena will have a chance for the future.
The wolf passes a fading gaze over each of you in turn.
Farewell, and till we meet again. My lady.
Aww, a little wolf cub.
That looks so fluffy.
Look, a wolf cub. And there she is, our Serena, alive and well. This means we'll live too. The chieftain turns to you. And I also think, like, it's also kind of like Sarkori's reborn in this village. I think I like the symbolism of it. Thank you. What you've done for Gundrun is nothing short of a miracle. Rest assured that you'll always be welcome in this town. Nice. So that's how it all ended. What a story. We need to head back to Gundrun and have a good old think about what it means. Are you coming with us short way, or do you still have things to do here? I mean, we looted already, so I'm going with you. Good thinking. What's the point in wearing out the soles of your boots, huh? Nice. Three hours. Hold on, what is that? Craning his neck, Ulbrig peers at the ruins towering over the town. I swear on the sacrifice of blood, but that's it. Let's fly, War Chief. You've got to see this. What is it? You need to see it with your own eyes. Alright, let's fly. Ulbrig transforms, spreads his mighty wings. Now the ride on the Griffin. Nice. Oh. Alive griffins.
Look at these beauties. Oh, my lovely ones. Come over and pet them.
Ah, we can pet griffins. More than our usual griffin. Without a moment hesitation, Ulbrig walks up to the huge beasts and begins scratching the backs of their necks. The creature offer up their necks for attention, purring in bliss. I thought all the griffins in the chorus died out.
So they did. The last time we were here, these ruins were deserted. But now, look at this. A brand new nest filled with eggs. The griffins are returning.
Aww, nice. And I love that it's voiced. And they won't bite my hands off?
Yours? Never.
And of course, Logan goes and strokes the griffin. Ah, see it wiggle. You touch the stiff feathers, and the griffin pulls in pleasure and makes a cooing sound, slightly opening its sharp beak. The fearsome predator nuzzles you like a kitten. Ulbrig is stroking the griffin's feathers, and his fingers brush your own, seemingly by accident.
And it's all thanks to you that they've returned. Remember the griffin remains we found?
Yeah.
I said a prayer of repose over them, but you were standing next to me. It was as if my prayer turned into a prayer of hope by itself. Our love called to them, and they answered that call.
Ah, that's so cheesy. I love it. Logan leans in and kisses Ulbrig. If our love is capable of this, nothing can stop us. Yeah. Very cute. The big man pulls you to his broad chest.
By the by, I just had a thought. Remember when we suddenly appeared in the Garden of the Gods? At the time I thought Kerenai sent us there. But in fact it was
him. With a smile, Ulbrig raises his arms and brings his hands together in a deafening clap.
I'm actually the one who brought us here. Because I'm not just Ulbrig. I'm Erwa. And that means I can come to the Garden of the Gods whenever I want.
So we're dating a god?
You are a living wonder. With you beside me, the impossible becomes effortless. Popping off to a magical country and arguing with a demon queen, piece of cake. Helping a lost wanderer remember that he's really a deity, eases breathing. bringing a destroyed land back to life. You just have to smile, and the Griffins are flying home.
No.
I wasn't wrong when I felt like I'd been in the... I was one of those who created it. You can't imagine the feasts we held here. It's a shame and a disgrace that it's fallen into this state. You deserve a better reception than this. Let's see if we can fix that.
Looks way nicer now. So, is he now immortal like a real god? Does he have divine powers? This is quite unusual. He definitely is. Good question. I mean, you also saw like this gathering of divine power, so I think he has just his like improved wild shape and like his powers are of a divine nature. But in the end, like, no one is praying to Erwarg, so I think it's like his own mythic powers, but not like he's really a deity.
Thank you. This is wonderful.
It's all for you, the most wonderful of mortals.
Oh,
In war, it's hard to find a time and place for tender feelings. But we've almost won. Soon we'll drive out these beasts. The war will be over. And then...
Ulbrig drops to one knee before you. Are you proposing?
Will you be my husband?
Ah. Yes, of course. Ulbrig lowers his head to kiss your fingers.
I avoided your love for so long. Ran from it, like some half-wit from my own happiness. Even once we decided to be together, something gnawed at me for a long time after. And it's only now that I realize what it was. I kept telling myself that I'd woken up in another world, a strange, foreign world that made no sense, a world that wasn't entirely real. Understand?
It's a very, very cute romance. I really like it. Really like him.
If some miracle had brought me to the future, it meant that it could happen again, and I could be sent back to my own time. The adventure would be over. I'd wake up from my dream. I'd be home again.
You'd be
If all
gone.
this was a dream, that meant you were too.
Aw.
I've been afraid to say this out loud up till now, but I have to do it. I'm not in the future, and I'm not in another world. There is no other world or time, the one I'm in now. The world where Sarkoris is gone, and where I'm with you.
Logan embraces Ulbrig. Let's stay here a little while. That world can wait.
The Garden of the Gods, or Golarion. The most important world is the one where we are together.
Aw. Aw, that was so beautiful. It was a really nice place here. I didn't think it was possible, but you managed to surprise me. Do we have to go home? Oh well. I think that's it for the quests, right? Waves. Blessed, Pathfinder Wrath, Final Verdict. I think that's it here. So, let's head back. So many cool, nice stories in this game, but it's really insane how long it is. I mean, I think it doesn't say so in the saves. Or is that it? I think that's it. In-game, 3 days and 17 hours. So like, 72, almost 100 hours so far. And I don't think we're close to the end. I mean, sure, it's the last act, but we're still at the beginning of that one. And I mean, I didn't even go out of my way to like explore every nook and corner. But I mean, I'm doing all the quests. But still, insanely long game. Come, my party people. I really like the DLC. I mean, everything about Ulbrig and his questline and stuff was really cool. Also, just to have like a bit more feeling of Sarkorian since it's mentioned so often. Like it really fitting to have him and the whole theme. And hey, we're engaged now. So, question just now is what to do next. Which quest, which place.